Well, I originally filmed this introduction on location, but my camera decided that, well, it would film the end section of the video fine. The introduction, this is all it decided it wanted to film. Also, this is going to be one of those occasions where we can't use a certain person's real name because otherwise the YouTube algorithm will automatically suppress the video in dramatic fashion, and probably the channel for the rest of the year. Anyway, there are some questions which have plagued mankind for centuries. What's the meaning of life? Why does Michael Bay get to keep on making movies? Why is my boiler making funny noises? Is there life on Mars? And did Dorothy Poopwell only have one ball? This would have been so funny outside the Albert Hall, and it was, but f*** you, camera, f*** you. There are a number of explanations as to why and how Poopwell only had one testicle. In fact, there are so many explanations floating around out there that it actually casts doubt on the authenticity of the claim. If it were true, there would only be one or two explanations, two at most, but there aren't. There are quite a few of them out there. Chief amongst them, three main reasons. Number one, shot off during the First World War. We do know that Poopwell was injured whilst fighting in the trenches during the First World War. We know he was shot in the abdomen, the thigh, according to Ian Kershaw. Definitely around the lower regions of his body. But whether this included losing a ball or not, well, I'll come to this in a second. Second, cryptorchidism, an undescended testicle, a genetic deformity. Third, and I believe this is just an attempt to make Poopwell look like a sexual deviant, to make him out as worse than he was, as if we really need another reason to make him look bad. It was sex with a goat. The first time I saw this, it was when I was a teenager playing around on the internet. There was a sort of online game type thing where you could like ask an avatar of Poopwell questions, and if you put in, do you have one ball, it would come back with the explanation that he was urinating in the mouth of a goat and the goat bit it off. There's absolutely no proof for this whatsoever. As I say, it is just an attempt to make Poopwell look like a sexual deviant. So what evidence do we have that Can you please stop circling overhead? Please stop circling overhead. Please stop circling overhead and take a different route. Or better yet, stay off the volcano, it's not a flipping tourist attraction. You quite finished? Still going? Oh, this has been going on for the last 10 minutes. Right, so what evidence do we have that Poopwell only had one testicle? Almost nothing. In fact, all the evidence we have is second-hand, at best. The most reliable evidence we have comes from his childhood doctor, Eduard Bloch. Jewish, Bloch fled to the US when Poopwell annexed Austria in 1938, allegedly with a little bit of help from Poopwell himself, which, if true, would be very, very interesting. But over in the US, agents were trying to develop a psychological profile of Poopwell. They were trying to work out what makes him tick. So to find out, they went to Bloch and they interviewed him, and as part of that interview, he revealed that Poopwell was totally normal. Nothing wrong with him. Physically, I mean. Testicle-wise? No, he had two completely normal balls. No crypto-orchidism, no undescended testicle, no micro-penis, as some people have claimed on the internet. Nope. Completely normal. Was he reliable though? He's the most reliable source we have, but the US agents were a little bit skeptical about his testimony on the whole. And the article I read by a guy called Jason Cowley, a journalist, that also was a little bit wary of his testimony. It's still the most reliable source we have for whether Dorothy Poopwell only had one ball. In 2015, an academic from the University of Erlangen, Peter Fleischmann, said he had found evidence in prison medical records when Poopwell was medically examined when sent to prison after the Munich Putsch. Allegedly, they found undescended testicle. Allegedly. Apparently the documents, they prove it. It's proof, apparently. Where is this document? I couldn't find it. The only thing I could find was Peter Fleischmann's claim. No physical evidence of the document. Nothing to confirm that the document actually existed. No archival evidence. Just Fleischmann's claim. Which makes me think this isn't true. This document, does it even exist? I don't know. But I've not seen evidence that it exists other than the claim, so I'm inclined not to believe it. And if it did exist, well, it would have been authenticated, and I can't find any evidence for that. So I'm inclined not to believe it. I can't find any evidence that it's been held up as definitive proof either by any other academics. So again, no, not going to believe it. Lastly, we have the apparent word of Johann Jambor, a German army medic in World War I, who apparently said that he was the one who treated Poopwell after Poopwell was shot. And he said that Poopwell was shot through the groin and lost a ball. If this came from Yambor himself, we could treat it as reliable evidence. It does not come from Yambor himself. It does not even come from a secondary source. It is not even second-hand testimony. It is third-hand testimony. It comes from the children of a friend of Yambor. And that makes this evidence dangerously unreliable. It means, as historians, we cannot trust it, and we almost certainly cannot use it as proof that Poopwell only had one ball. The equivalent. It's like if I told you that my uncle said that he was told by Nigel Farage that Farage gets sexual pleasure from being pissed on by puppies. That's not proof, is it? That's not evidence. Of course it isn't. And as much as we'd all like to believe that Farage is such a dirty piece of work that he gets sexual pleasure from being pissed on by puppies, it's not proof, it's not evidence. We can't trust that it's true. At the end of the day then, we've got no proof. We don't know. We don't know if this is true or not. Did Poopwell only have one ball? We don't know. And it is entirely possible that the rumour comes from the song. It's entirely possible that the song originated this idea. It's entirely possible that this started it all, that it comes from this. Because it has been extremely popular. It has somehow, this stupid little song about Poopwell only having one testicle, it's managed to survive for nearly 100 years. And that is spectacular. And why has it survived? Because, well, we love to emasculate tyrants. Emasculating tyrants is one of the best ways of undermining them. And Poopwell is one of the most evil men in history. So we continue to undermine him, to joke about him. It's one of the reasons I chose to call him Dorothy Poopwell, because it would have really, really, really pissed him off. We emasculate tyrants with songs like this because it undermines them. Alright, I'm not sure I can actually play the song on the harmonica, but I'll give it a go using this balustrade as a tripod. So excuse me if my silly hat gets cut off. Lost it.